Hey, Zerocool Podcast. Welcome. Happy Sunday, everybody. In studio with us today, the DRP, a.k.a. Donnie Polinsky.
Woo!
Holy
ruckus.
Shit. That is loud as fuck. My headphones. Couple of things I got to go over first before we get started. We are sponsored by joinplayboy.com. Just click on the link, support Zerocool Podcast, and subscribe. There's a custom gallery that's put up every week just for you guys. Couple other things I wanted to say for those of you who came out to my gigs this last week. We were off last week due to Easter. I wasn't able to plug them, but I was at Brothers for last week, Saturday, and this past Friday. Slowly but surely getting back to normal with getting back into DJing and stuff like that. So hopefully more of that is down the road, and hopefully we can get back to doing business. If you came out, thank you. Also, big shout out to DJ Analog. She stopped through and said what's up. It was great to see her. She's now living in Kansas City. I said maybe I'd come down there and come party in KC. They got amazing barbecue. So
and Tech 9 lives there.
Yeah, and Tech 9 lives there. There's actually, when I was there was a huge billboard.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were like promoting like Tech 9 for something that was going on. I was like, no
He's
shit.
the king of KC, man.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck yeah. What else do I got going on? Oh, Jägermeister Behind the Shot mix. If you have not yet checked it out, it is up on Mixcloud. I believe we are doing the barcode graphic. Correct, Brandon? Yep. So all you have to do is there will be a graphic at the bottom of where I'm talking. I'm assuming like right here somewhere. Yep. Right there.
I don't want to see that. I'll look up.
But if you scan that with your phone, it'll take you a direct link to go check out that mix.
Actually, after a couple of White Claws, I'm going to look down there.
And then last but certainly not least, big shout out to my good friend Chicago Nick. He opened up Shadow Personal Training. If you're in Chicago area and you're listening to this podcast, go check him out. He's at 2618 Halstead Avenue down in Chicago. He is one of the best guys in the world, the former head trainer for Equinox. I talk about him constantly on the podcast. He always comes to the UFC fights with us over at Brothers. And now, officially getting started now, we got everything out of the way. Donnie, DRP, welcome on out. It's been...
I'll try not to yell.
No, yell as much as you want, dude.
Yeah! I'll yell away from the mic.
But welcome on out. I'm finally glad to get you in here. Number one. And number two, I don't think I've seen you in like almost 2 years now.
Since the pandemic, for sure.
I think the last time I saw you, we were out in Anaheim, and you were playing with MOD Classic.
Oh, fuck that. We went to that strip club afterwards. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I mean, I went to the strip club. You were like, I got to go to church in the morning.
So my I haven't brought this up yet. My girlfriend's dad actually tuned into my podcast last week.
Yeah.
And he's doing a really good job. He made his guests cry. And so she's like, please, like, ignore all this stuff, the crazy shit that he talks about. But
we shouldn't be on this podcast together then now.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, the last time we had hung out, we ended up getting blackout drunk and going to a strip club, and it was one of those that like...
Was that in Anaheim?
That was in Anaheim.
Oh, that was after the Dollhouse show, I think? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Doll Hut show. Yep.
That whole thing worked out really well because you had plugged the fact that you were on tour at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're going to be out on the West Coast. I was like, well, I'm going to be out in that area at the same time.
Yeah.
I remember what I was out there for. Cassidy, one of the guests on the show, Cassidy Liederbach, him and I flew out to LA, or no, we flew into Anaheim. I think they actually have their own airport. Flew into Anaheim to go catch the UFC fights. It's when
I think there was a UFC fight out there. I remember you. Yeah.
Daniel Cormier was fighting Stipe Miocic, and Anthony was fighting Nate Diaz. Actually, there was a great fight. Yoel Romero fought I forgot his first name, Costa. God damn, that was a fucking banger for 3 rounds. But yeah, the next day you were playing in Anaheim, and I was like...
Yeah, it was like a Sunday night or some shit. Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm going to stick around. And
that was the last date of that tour with MOD.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a whole West Coast run.
Dude, that was a blast. And it was one of those, too, that was like, I'm so used to being in Wisconsin. Like, I had a bunch of joints on me. I was like, I rolled up. I was like, does anyone give a shit if I smoke weed? They're like, no.
No, just don't shoot up in the bathroom.
I'm like, Donnie, can't get...
Then there's a card for that. Just tell us you're going to do it.
But yeah, we ended up number one. That was a great show. You had amazing bands that played. There was the one that sticks out. There was a dude that I met. I was talking with, and you said you knew him for a bunch of years.
Yep.
He came out with like
Potty Mouth.
Potty Mouth. He came out with a huge like foam head.
That's Jason Basha. He was in Green Jelly for a minute too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a guitar player for Green Jelly.
Dude, that guy was awesome. Because I just remember like talking to him for a while, and we were talking music. We were talking a bunch of other shit, and all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, I see him come out with. I was like, "Is that the same guy I was just talking to?"
Yeah. I actually met him when S.O.R.E moved out to L.A. for our first record deal type thing. Mm-hmm. He was out at the studio we worked at. Zach Wild was out there. Like, he knew Zach Wild and all those guys.
Yeah.
And I met him, and I met a couple other guys that I still talk to this day. That's from 2005, 2006 out there. But, yeah.
Dude, it's amazing how long you can keep friends, like, especially in the music industry. Like, I kind of got into it with Brandon yesterday. I was like, dude, I've known Donnie since I was 17.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I was like, so him and I have kind of a similar background. I don't know if you remember this or not. We had a TV studio in our high school.
I do kind of remember this a little bit.
So one, I was like, I had projects I had to do. Like, we had all these different, like, he had to do like these indie films and shit like that.
Yeah.
The shit that I did was documentaries and interviews and shit like that. So one of the first docs I ever did was on your first band, Reverend Epicurean.
I kind of remember it, like, sitting down at a bar with you. Oh, God. I hope you don't have that shit anymore.
You know what? It was in a Rubbermaid container. So
I hope it got destroyed.
no, so it's I hope not.
I do remember that. When
It's on VHS, so we'd have to find a VHS player.
Yeah. Just go to any Goodwill.
Yeah, try and figure out how to hook that shit up to our TVs. None of those components are even there anymore.
Yeah.
But I had some great interviews from back in the day. Like, I remember I had interviewed almost every band that came through the rave. Like, I had interviews with Garbage. I had interviews.
Oh, that'd be cool to see that shit.
So I ended up the Steve Marker Butch Vig interview. I ended up talking. I talked about Garbage. It was their second album tour.
Yeah.
I talked with them about their music a little bit, and then I ended up nerding out and just talking like studio shit with them, and I was like, so what was it like recording the Nevermind record? And they're like, that has nothing to do with Garbage. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we're talking about this.
I was like, I'm probably never gonna be able to talk to you guys again. So
Fuck it, let's just
I was like, what are you guys gonna do? Kick me out of this interview?
Yeah. Well, they can, yeah. But
I'm like, listen, you're dealing with a teenage fanboy. Just fucking deal with it, man.
Yeah.
Do you still have those Nirvana guitars there? Yeah. No, I've heard stories that like Kurt gave them a bunch of guitars and shit like that, and I was like, fucking hell. But no, they ended up referring me to my first digital audio workstation. Acid Pro was a Acid was a Madison based company.
Yeah.
And they were giving out demos online. They're like, if you like music, like, check this out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how all this
started.
Yeah. Was just me playing around on Acid and writing music and shit like that. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, dude, it's amazing on how long you can have friends in this industry. There's guys I've worked with.
That's because it's like a brother and sisterhood. You know what I mean? Like musicians and entertainers, we all live off the same fucked up brain type thing. You know what I mean? You have to be a little fucked up to be an entertainer.
Yeah, I would like to. It's probably like the same. We're all members of the same shitty fraternity. We've all been dicked over by promoters, club owners.
Yep.
So it's easy to relate to everyone.
Absolutely.
But yeah, longest friends I've had. You, DJ E-Rich, Kyle, who I've known since. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, him and I have been friends since middle school.
He's killing it too. Like, he's mixing a lot of big artist stuff now between Force 5 and like I since I know so many people, they're like, hey, who recorded that for you? And I'm referring him, and he's doing really well with Mad Science. Check out Mad Science Audio Labs, Kyle Krukowski.
No, I want to have him on here separately. I thought about having you guys on together, and I was like, no. I was like, for the amount of stuff that Kyle knows and the amount of stuff that I can cover with him, I was like, that can be its own podcast on its own.
Yep.
And besides that, like, I've tried to do it with a 3-man booth, like, with the band Tenlo, it worked because they're both members of the same band.
Yep.
And I've kind of figured out that I can have one-on-one conversations that kind of work better. So I think I'm gonna probably either do that for May or June and just be like, just have him on separately and just talk to him about everything that he's been doing. But no, more than anything, I want to catch up with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to be like, dude, come by like 2 hours before the podcast. Like, I got some issues I need you to help me work out on my computer. But excuse me. But yeah, I definitely want to have him on. And the dude's just been killing it too for like solid for the last 10 years out of his house studio.
Yep.
So as far as music with Kyle goes, what are you currently working on? I know you recently put out the Ruckus mixtape.
Ruckus mixtape volume 2.
Hells yeah.
All the Force 5 crew, Danny Diablo, Big Left, me, King Relic, Jason Logic, Prolific, not any last words were on this one. Everyone from Force 5 that was while we were recording this, we just released that. We've been real busy. Jason Logic released his album Soundcheck in January. We released a couple singles with Any Last Words and signed them in February. We've been working on the Scarhead record. We've been working on the Big Left record. If anyone's familiar, like Big Left was in La Coca Nostra with Everlast, Danny Boy, Slain, Ill Bill. Danny Diablo's like the king of New York hardcore. All his projects come out through the label. Finishing up the Saint Dog record for it. It's a split between Suburban Noise Records and Force 5. It's the last. Saint Dog just passed away in October of last year, so we got a bunch of demos and remixes and some original songs that we're putting out, and his kid's actually going to be on it, so I'm super stoked about that. Finishing up some DRP stuff. I mean, it's nonstop, you know what I mean? Like, I'm working on shit for Suburban Noise besides all this, so it's a lot.
Hey, I do have to ask about this because I remember talking to you about it because I had inboxed you when it was kind of going on. Danny got into it with not Chris Brown, the rapper, but Chris Brown, the vocalist from Tarpt. Fuck that guy.
Boo.
No, but so he got into it with him. How did that start?
Okay, so basically, I'm not going to say, quote me on everything, but Chris Brown was running his mouth. You saw all the posts and stuff. He's just running his mouth. Yeah, fine, freedom of speech, whatever, but I think he should have just relaxed on some of that dumb shit he was saying, but then he got into it with Ice-T and said, well, let's compare record sales. One, Ice-T is a fucking icon. Your name is Chris Brown from Tarpt.
Yeah.
Ice-T, Chris Brown. Who's going to be remembered in the end for music? One of the innovators of hip-hop and one of the greatest like thrash punk bands in body count, and he's also been on SVU for 22 fucking seasons, or Chris Brown from Tarpt. So you're going to try to have a pissing contest with Ice-T. One, that's stupid as fuck. Former pimp, smart as fuck. Give me a break. So then Danny chimed in because Ice-T and Danny are good friends.
Yeah.
Actually, last month on Fox News, check out the New York Hardcore Streetwear. Ice-T rocked this on Fox News for us.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, check out New York Hardcore Streetwear. Go to force5records.com. Danny Diablo merch.
Brandon, if you're able to, put a plug on that, too.
Yeah.
If you can build the graphic quick.
But basically, I mean, Danny was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing talking shit about Ice-T? So then Chris went off on Danny, didn't realize who he was, and said, you look like a tattooed meth head, you ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. And everyone in the hardcore world in hip-hop was like, yo, do you know who you're talking to? Like, I'm not going to say, but I'm going to say, Danny has got a lot of connections. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Danny is not one to, like, cross. So when Chris started running his mouth, it just blew up on the Twitterverse. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we ran with it and just started fucking talking shit to him. I actually tried to call, I wrote to him, like, yo, why are you saying this? Why, you know, it's stupid. Like, just squash it. Like, don't talk shit about Ice-T or Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, or Danny. And he just ran his mouth to me. I'm like, well, what the fuck? This guy's just, like, obviously unhinged. Like, I'm trying to have, like, a logical thing with him. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. And I'll tell you what, our numbers went through the roof when that happened, man. We sold so much merch.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. Especially, like, when you're on the winning side of it.
I actually had a few people that were, like, acquaintances and friends in music, like, go, yo, you're just trying to be chasing for clout. I'm like, we're doing what we're supposed to do as businessmen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, musicians suffer. We go up and down all the time. If that gave us, I mean, he was in Rolling Stone, covered it. Blabbermouth covered it. PRP, like all those big, like they covered everything. They were showing like videos on Force 5. Like we were killing it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, fuck it. Of course I'm gonna run with them. I'm gonna say, Rolling Stone, take that off, please.
Yeah.
I don't want that clout chasing bullshit. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, make money.
Yeah.
I remember I had hit you up and he was like, "Oh, we can fight, blah blah blah," and I was like, Donnie, I was like, this is your chance. I was like, you tell him to come to Milwaukee.
I did. I tried, man.
I'll train him. I'll work with him. Like, what are we gonna do here? We can do boxing. We can do kickboxing. We can do MMA.
Chris Brown of Tarpt. If you want to fight Danny, we've got the UFC connection over here. We can make something happen for charity. Let's do it. Danny's ready.
Well, here's the thing. He got kicked out of his band like a couple of months ago. They Tarpt released a statement because
Wait, doesn't he own the rights to the band?
he got banned from Twitter.
I saw that.
And
Which
then-
is, by the way, that's bullshit.
It is.
I'm going to side with him there. I believe freedom of speech. I don't think you should be able to.
You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act for me.
Yeah.
Because I look at it like this. Social media, they are still a private entity. And they can write whatever rules that they want.
Yes.
But at what point when you become a level of communication that on one end of the spectrum, they helped, what was it, 2012 or 2013, they helped Egypt with their, I think they pushed out not a Democrat, a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
You help on one end of the spectrum. So you have freedom of speech that way.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other end, when it's speech that you don't like or you don't agree with, then you shut it down. So then it's, well, what are you then? Are you a company, or are you like the telephone company, where a telephone company doesn't regulate the message that's said on it?
Yeah.
It regulates the connection. So at what point do you make this a utility then?
Why don't the social media companies do this? Because we're such a divided nation, right? No one can get along. There should be. Why don't they do this? Whoever runs Twitter, I don't know. I'm making this as simplistic as
Jack
possible.
Dorsey. Jack Dorsey,
All right.
pay attention.
Okay, why don't they have people from Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians on a 12-seat forum, and they decide who should get kicked off and who shouldn't, right? And it's 4-4-4 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that way there's some equality there to it.
You can argue here. I'll tell you what that counter argument's going to be.
Okay.
Is that there's going to be someone that goes, there isn't enough Mexicans representative. There's not enough white people. There's not enough Asian people. There's not enough trans people. There's not enough gay people. That everything has to be completely equal.
Then this is what we'll do. We're going to write the... There's going to be 20 people on this thing. We're going to go to every single part of society. Actually, make it 500, because I'm sure there's 30 genders now, whatever it is. I'm not making fun of you guys, I promise. I mean that. I joke around about everything. We have every gender on there, every nationality on there, represented by one. Even white. There's only one white motherfucker on there, right? There's one black guy. There's one Asian. There's one... we got to have a mix, too, then.
Yeah.
This is going to take a while. Jack Dorsey, let's talk. We'll get this figured out. And then they have votes when, like guys like Trump. You know, Ron Paul got kicked off.
Really?
Yeah. And all he did was say... Was it Ron... Yeah, Ron Paul is libertarian, right?
Oh, you're thinking of Rand Paul.
Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Libertarian. He got kicked off because all he said is Trump. I don't believe what Trump says, but I believe he has the freedom of speech to say it on Twitter. And he got kicked off. And he's the most down the middle motherfucker you can have.
Well, that's the problem with all this shit now is that, how do I explain this? People bear down so hard. They curl their toes into the sand so hard, and they bear down so hard the second that there's any... Like if you challenge anything that has to do with their belief, with their identity, that they're just like, no, you're wrong, and I can't hear it. Where when you and I were growing up, we could have difference of opinion.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like, no, Jay-Z's the greatest rapper. You're like, no, dog, DMX is the greatest rapper.
I was gonna do the bark, but I don't want to destroy your. I don't know how loud it gets.
You'd blow out my eardrums. So I have these high just so that I talk normally.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm trying to like bring my volume up more. So, but you and I could have this argument, and that could be a heated argument with us back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, we're like, fuck it, let's go shotgun some beers and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And we would agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Where now everyone's like,
See, I'm still like this though. Like I could talk to anybody, and even if I don't like agree with them 100%, I'm gonna listen to what they have to say because everyone wants to be listened to. You know what I mean? Like you can't just talk over people with shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I hate Nickelback. I have to hear it sometimes, and someone tells me sometimes they're like, this is my favorite band. I'm like, all right, I hate them. What am I supposed to do? Well, let's have a drink,
dude. If you didn't hate him to begin with, the fact that Chad Kroeger married Avril Lavigne makes me hate him even more.
Wait, are they still married?
I hope not.
I don't know.
Avril, if you're out there, let us know what the update is. But where the fuck were we going with all this?
I know we went to politics. God damn it. Let's talk music.
It always fucking happens. Here, we'll talk about, we were talking about this a little bit off air. I'm slowly getting back into DJing. I felt rusty as fuck playing last week.
But how was the crowd and stuff like that?
Crowd's not great.
Yeah,
because
people are scared to go back out. Yeah, and people, you know what I mean.
It's number one, in Milwaukee, we're dealing with capacity issues. So with the way those COVID plans are written out, there's a certain capacity that those people can have with the square footage that they have in this venue. So let's say Brothers has a capacity of like 600. Well, they're capped at like 320 now because of restrictions of how many people they can have in there and so on and so forth. And the fact that you can't, I think I'm paraphrasing these rules. You can't be drinking on a quote unquote dance floor. So yeah, for a while there was no dance floors. And then it was, now you can just wear a mask.
Just get them on a table.
Yeah, now you got to wear a mask and stuff like that.
On the dance floor you got to wear a mask?
Yeah. So there's only like 30 or 40 kids that go out there. Like, where's my phone?
Yeah.
I'll pull out the photos.
Yeah.
But when they first opened, it was wall to wall in there. And it's, you know how it is, where you just got like nothing but great energy off a crowd.
Yeah.
And I would play and I was like, God damn. I was like, this is so much fun. Like, I came back and played like a week later. And what is this from? October? That's November. It was October when I played there. But oh, here it is. Dude.
This is from last weekend?
No, this is from right before they changed the lockdown rules.
Oh shit, yeah.
So that's the size of the crowd.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a fucking madhouse in there.
Yeah. COVID. I'm just kidding.
Dude, so my girl showed up and the line was down the fucking block.
Fuck.
But yeah, that's what I was used to, is just like a packed house.
Yeah.
You know, everyone getting into what you're doing, and it's so hard to play when there's like 10 people and all they're doing is this the entire time.
Really?
It's so fucking annoying. So I'm hoping that by
they're like, I'm out and about, check it out.
Yeah, no mask. But I'm like, please don't tag us where you're at. But yeah, it's hard to play. It's like playing an acoustic show, man. Like there's just no energy there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping by summertime we kind of move back into normalcy.
I hate to tell you this, but I probably played 1,000 clubs to 10 people. It's kind of the underground vibe. Not even an acoustic. I'd probably get more in acoustic sometimes. The DRP plays acoustic. 20 people. Holy fuck.
But yeah, I'm hoping by summertime that this all gets back to normal. Are you pre-planning stuff? I know you're doing the show down in Texas. By the way, time out. Lancaster, Texas, 420 show. You can check out DRP and the Force 5 crew. Who else is playing on that show?
Well, Razakel and the Slice Girls are the headliner. They're good friends of ours in Texas. And then it's there's a whole bunch of other bands from down in Texas. Then it's me, Prolific, King Relic, Rick Dog, and Jason Logic. We're heading down there. We were actually supposed to play a show the next night, but the show got postponed due to COVID. It's a really big show, and I can't really announce it yet because it's being rescheduled, but it's one of my favorite groups of all time that we're supposed to be playing with down there. So we were bummed that we couldn't do it this time, but with COVID, we kind of understood it was a crapshoot. But thank God, Razakel and her team from She Entertainment, she's like, hey, we're playing while you guys are down here. You want to do this show? So she kind of helped us out a lot. So we're going on there. We're going to fucking party. I got a bunch of T-shirts. We're just going to throw them out, CDs, boom. Just party for 2 days.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to King Relic. I know he had posted about the podcast and so on and so forth. I met him at Highbury, 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, really?
And it was just, he had the tattoo shop. I think that was connected to it. And he was drinking with Joe Katz. And Joe always introduces me to like people. He's like, Parker, he's like, do you know, I don't know what King Relic's real name is.
William.
He's like, do you know William? And I was like, no. He's like, you guys would get together. He does music and shit like that. And I ended up giving him a ride back to South Milwaukee at some point, and we were rapping in the car about music and shit like that. But still remember you, brother. Nice hanging out with you. Where the fuck was I going with this before?
We're talking about Texas.
Oh, yeah, Texas.
Yeah.
So with Texas then, you'd said something about moving the show. Okay, yeah, I remember where I was going with this now. So along with the Texas show, are you pre-planning shows already, or are you just kind of waiting for restrictions to get lifted?
We've been waiting for restrictions a little bit to get lifted, but we've been talking. even between Force 5 and like Suburban Noise Records, they're trying to figure out tour dates for all their guys. So there's been a few things that have been popping up. I talked to Danny Diablo today. I'm like, hey, we really got to get a tour going soon. But I was like, are you worried about shit? Right before the pandemic hit, we were supposed to have a Crown of Thorns, which is Danny Diablo's band, Sick of It All, and Agnostic Front were supposed to go on the road. And it was this big tour, and it's been rescheduled 3 times. So we're hoping it gets rescheduled here for fall now. Hopefully we get that one out there. And then I'm going to plan one with Danny and me. Head PE is going on the road, look like July, so hopefully that happens for Suburban Noise. A lot of the other artists there that I work with, they're planning things. So everyone's kind of like putting their toe in the water. Like, it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
I think I might jump in.
So you keep making references back to Suburban Noise. Now, are you so is that like one of those deals where, for example, the best way I can describe this in my head is that there was Interscope, and then there would be like an artist record label. Are you with them? Are they doing distribution for you, or how does that work?
It basically varies by project, but like I work for Suburban Noise as an entity by itself. Like I do a lot of marketing, music. You know what I mean? Like I work a lot with them just as Suburban Noise. But Kevin Zinger, the owner of Suburban Noise, S.O.R.E Productions, he digs everything I'm doing. He's like, hey, what do you got going on? Like the Saint Dog record's going to be a sub noise release with Force 5. Scarhead, we're talking about it. We'll see. Nothing's come to fruition. The new old Saint Dog record was. So I go back and forth with both. But yeah, Force 5 is kind of like we'll call it the minor league system for Suburban Noise.
Okay.
At times. You know what I mean? Like it's still its own entity. But Kevin's been so gracious with me with everything. Like whenever I have an idea, he's like, yeah, I think I can run with that. You know what I mean? But Zinger is such a busy dude. Like he owns like 4 different record labels besides the Suburban Noise. Like he's got so much on his plate. You know what I mean? So he's got all these different people that work around him, but the dude's nonstop from morning to night, and you never know when I'm 2 hours behind him. He'll send something at 2 in the morning, California time. It's 4. I'm like, oh fuck, I'll have to get to this when I wake up in a couple hours. But he's nonstop. I've never met a harder grinder in my life than him.
So how did that come about then? So was it just one of those that you guys had linked up and?
Basically, for years, I was booking acts. I worked at the Rave for a while, so I got familiar with how to book tours and stuff like that. So I got to meet people, and I met a lot of the artists from Suburban Noise Records back in the day. D-Gaff, Chucky Chuck, Potluck, Head PE, all those guys. So I started setting up shows, even mini shows, like weekends, and then it turned into bigger tours and bigger tours. And Kevin knew me from Gillies from D-Gaff. They're good friends. And he's like, yo, Kevin, you should check Donnie out. He's working hard. So we've known about it. I've known him forever because he's huge. Like I wish I could be the Kevin Zinger of Milwaukee. You know what I mean? But so a couple years ago, I approached him. I'm like, hey, I got the Saint Dog record. It's almost done. Would you be interested in partnering with me? Because I think you could help me make it even bigger. And he's like, yeah. And from there, it's just worked into. He's like, hey, do you want to work for Suburban Noise? I'm like, yes.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that you had worked for the Rave as well. So were you booking or were you doing promotions? Like how did that work out for you?
It was a little bit of everything. First, I worked in the fucking flyer room, stapling flyers together, and I was booking shows for S.O.R.E through them. You know what I mean? So it was my way to get a foot in the door with the Rave, and then I became friends with everyone, and we'd get on all the bigger shows there. And then it turned into, hey, do you want to be the assistant stage manager? And I would stage manage. And then it was, hey, do you want to interview a bunch of these bands? And I interviewed all those bands back in the day. And then it just developed from there. You know what I mean? And then Joe Balestreri, the owner, he taught me. He did. He'd show me things like, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. And then Justin Morales, he got in there and, he helped me with a ton of things too. So I just got to know everybody. It was networking. You know what I mean?
Okay. Nice, man.
Yeah.
We were talking about this off air. One of the only shows I ever got to do at the Rave was because of you.
We did. Yeah.
With the Reverend Epicurean. So
I wish I knew what show it was for.
So here's the crazy part about that. I had a friend of mine who filmed it. His name was John De La Cruz. He was a friend of mine in high school. He's now a friend of mine through jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And
one of the first things I did when I saw him, I was like, dude, I've been looking for you for like 15 years. I was like, you filmed.
You look for him on social media?
He's a nomad, dude. He went all over the place. He was living in Arizona and shit like that. And then he eventually moved back to Milwaukee. And I was like, yo, man, I was like, you have the only video of like me playing at the rave. I was like, do you still have it? He's like, oh man, I recorded over it when I graduated from the Navy. I was like, you fucking cocksucker. But going back to what I was saying, the only time I ever got to play the rave bar was because of you.
Yeah.
It was because Reverend Epicurean had bassist who's a longtime friend of ours, Stan Wooten, was just done with it and he didn't want to do it anymore. And you guys were like, oh, we got to cancel this show. And I was like, I was managing you guys at the time, and I was like, we're not canceling this show.
That's funny. You were managing us at 17. I was like 21 at the time.
Yeah. It made sense. Like, Parker's kind of professional.
Yeah.
And if, someone doesn't want to pay us.
Actually, no. I was 17. How old are you? Don't say how old you are. I don't want anyone to figure out how old I am.
No, I just talked about the fact that my 40th birthday was last week. Fuck. Which, by the way, everyone who hit me up on Facebook and emailed and text and phone called and FaceTimed me, thank you very much. My good friend Bobby from Champions always calls me every year and sings me happy birthday at my voicemail. So it's always one of those that I wake up to it where I'm like, oh, I got a voicemail message from Bobby, and it's happy birthday.
Hopefully he's really drunk. If it's a sober happy birthday, I'd be like, nope, delete.
No, I guarantee it, Bobby's always got a couple. Yeah, he's always had a few in him.
All right, good. I like this guy already.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll swing by and we'll go say hi to Bobby. He always tells me he's tuning into the podcast every time we do it. So I gotta get over there and wish him happy birthday as well. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, learned bass in like I think 4 hours, and then played that show.
That shows how complex our songs were back in the day.
Yeah, they were. I was like, this is it?
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
It's a different time. It was a simpler time.
Yeah. And then we had also talked about off air with the recent passing of DMX that there is a cover of the Rough Riders anthem that you did with that band.
Yep.
That I literally pulled out I found it in a box.
And I hope it never resurfaces because there's way too many N-words that I shouldn't be saying on that one. I still cover that song now on my sets, but I changed. If anyone knows Rough Riders anthem, read the lyrics to it. Go check out the lyrics and then come back and be like, this motherfucker rapped this word for word like back in the day I did. Not anymore.
But yeah, I found that and I was like, God damn, dude. The audio will never see the light of day. That's sitting somewhere upstairs in my room.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, all that stuff back in the day was such a blast, dude. And I still think it's funny that like, dude, I was 17 representing you, and it was like, well, Parker's professional, and if someone doesn't want to pay us, we'll just, we'll give them a couple of joke calls and just be like, go get their ass. Just head down, just give us our fucking money. Do you know what? Now that I think about it, whatever happened to the guy that managed you guys after me? Because I had left and I started radio.
Lives in Vegas. He's doing well. He's selling homes out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I didn't like that guy when I left. I remember I butted heads with him. I'm like, I'm gonna beat your ass before I fucking leave, dude. I'm like, I'm about to move.
That was the transition from Reverend Epicurean to. Are you talking about that from to S.O.R.E?
Yeah, that was Nigel, right?
Nigel. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember I was like leaving. I was like, I do not want to leave this band and this dude's fucking. Nigel, if you're out there, you owe me a lot of drinks. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. Looking back at the last bunch of years of all the homies that we've worked with, so on and so forth. And dude, you know what? And still seeing you doing this is amazing. Yeah. And still grinding, doing Force 5 and working with Suburban Noise, doing the mixtapes, so on and so forth. This is just fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. And actually, if anyone's into thrash or punk, I'm in a band called, you said MOD Classictk. Yeah. We just released our first single. Our drummer is from DRI, the original drummer from DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, Felix Griffin. And then the original rhythm section from USA for MOD, Tim McMurtry and Kenny Balone. Our first album with Combat Records is coming out. I can't give a release date yet, but it's just about worked up and finished the mixing part of it. So we're going to work on the marketing part soon.
So what was the other label that you're working with on that one?
Combat Records.
Combat Records.
Yep.
Now, how did you come about with working with Combat?
So Tom Hazard, who runs Combat Records with Dave Ellison, Tom Hazard used to manage my old band Primer 55. Mm-hmm. If anyone remembers like the new metal from the 2000s, Primer 55 was on Island Def Jam Records. So he managed us after when I joined the band. Now, people say, you were in Primer 55 in 2000? No, that was Jason. He was the original singer. He was the most badass singer on the planet. He passed away a few years ago. A lot of people think I had like beef with him. Me and Jason talked all the time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we both battled drug addictions, so we had something in common. We talked about it all the time. So Primer 55 is Jason, but I was in Primer 55. So when people are like, why do you bring that up? Like, it was 5 years of my life. You know what I mean? Mm. I never try to replace Jason, but there's some weird beef with that with people like the fans. Like, I loved Primer 55 as a fan, and I was in the band for a while, so it's still a part of me. You know what I mean? Like, it always will be. But Jason is Primer 55. Anyways, I went off on a tangent. What were we talking about?
Yeah. We were talking about Combat Records.
Combat Records. So Tom Hazard used to manage Primer 55 when I was in the band. And then he teamed up with Dave Ellison from Megadeth to start Combat Records. And so we all know the kind of the same people. He put together a deal for us, so we're working on this first record with them. So I work closely with Tom. Dave Ellison I do a lot of stuff for, too. It's a trip because Megadeth is one of my favorite bands. And I have Dave Ellison email me like, hey, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, shit, Dave.
I saw Megadeth a bunch of years ago, actually at the rave. This lineup was fucking sick. It was Volbeat opened.
Yeah. They opened.
They opened.
Yeah.
Not Mudvayne. Motorhead, sorry. Motorhead, who played so ungodly, like, it's no joke.
It's the loudest concert I've ever heard in my life. My ears are ringing now thinking about those shows.
So it was me, my friend PJ from Wausau, and he brought two of his staffers down with him, and the girls thought it was so loud that they were tearing money in half, rolling it up, and putting it in their ears.
Yeah.
Like, I was screaming as loud as I could to order a beer, and they're like, what?
The two loudest shows, well, actually, the three most loud shows is always Motorhead, Slayer. Motorhead's 1 and 2 on every list. I swear to God, they were a three-piece. It was so ungodly, but I loved it.
Oh, dude.
I don't know if I could do it. If I was like 70, I don't know if I could go to a Motorhead show, but Lemmy, rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, and then Megadeth was the headliner on that one, and I felt bad because it was one of those that after Motorhead played, Megadeth seemed so quiet. And I was just like, something feels
That's
off.
A great fucking show, though.
I mean, yeah, it was amazing. It was the first time I actually got to see Megadeth, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Volbeat, Motorhead, and Megadeth was just
I have a funny Lemmy story.
Go for it.
All right. I got a million stories, so if I go off on a tangent, I'm sorry.
Tell all the stories you want. Time out. Before we go even further, we're going to go in stories with Lemmy. Number one, I want to give a shout out to this because I think this is just fucking amazing, is that if you can, Brandon, you getting this well? Force 5 Records has their own rolling papers.
Ruckus Wraps.
The Ruckus Wraps. You should do those for condoms too. The Ruckus Wraps. When you're down to make the ruckus,
anyone that listens to Force 5 will look at that condom and go, "Nope." Those will just sit in the warehouse.
All right, hold on. One other thing I totally forgot about that I wanted to plug as well. Next week, Saturday, Jake Paul, Ben Askren fight. I'm not going to be able to host this, but the hosting site will be Uncle Buck's over on Old World 3rd Street. There will be some specials that we're putting together. I'm talking with Ricardo from Uncle Buck's tomorrow. So if you're looking to see the Jake Paul, Ben Askren fight next Saturday, you want to go to Uncle Buck's. The top 2 floors are going to be dedicated just to the fights. There's about 80 seats available, so come early. Ben Askren is from Wisconsin. He's an Olympic wrestler who's going to be boxing Jake Paul, who is utterly fucking annoying.
I was going to say, it's the Ben Askren Jake Paul fight. Don't put Jake Paul first. Fuck that.
Time out. We're going to get to your story in a second.
Right.
But Ben said one of the funniest fucking lines, and I think it went over everyone's fucking head during that press conference.
Well, he was punking Jake Paul pretty good. Like,
dude, he said flat out, he goes, Jake, if this was a real fight, he goes, I'd fucking kill you. He's like, you wouldn't have a fucking chance. He goes, I would ragdoll you in the back alley.
Yeah.
He's like, I would pick you up, beat the shit out of you. He goes, we're going with my weakest aspect. And he goes, and I'm still going to kick your ass. He goes, understand. He goes, I'm boxing right now, but in a real fight, he goes, I'd fucking kill you.
Yeah.
He's like, so shut the fuck up, dude.
But I'll tell you this, Jake Paul knows how to get in there and get under people and market himself.
And that's the thing. Get your money. Get your money.
Yeah.
And same thing we were saying about the Chris Brown thing.
Yep.
Get your fucking money, dude.
I can't hate him there.
And that's the thing is that, as much as people don't like him, he's making money off the fact that people don't like him. People aren't paying to see him box.
Yeah.
People are paying to see him.
Please punch that motherfucker out.
He's so fucking annoying. please beat his ass.
Yeah.
And if you're making money off of that and you can take that and you're cool with it,
Yeah.
dude, good for you.
Yeah.
If you can be that hated and make money off of it, great.
Chris Brown versus Jake Paul.
Ooh.
You know, who would you root for?
God, there's got to be a villain in that. Here's the thing. If Jake Paul, if you're watching,
Danny Diablo comes in and smashes them both.
brings out a table in the Hardy Boys and just beats the shit out of everyone, and it becomes a win for Danny Diablo.
Yeah.
And then he takes everyone's purse.
Yeah.
But yeah, in a Chris Brown Jake Paul fight, I think Chris Brown is so hated
Yeah.
that Jake Paul actually comes out the hero in that one.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Well, I mean, Chris Brown jumped on. And so for the record here, we are talking about Chris Brown from the band Tarpt, not the R&B singer.
Which he's had his moments, too, of...
That came up recently.
Did it?
Where someone was just like...
Sorry, we go off on a tangent. I didn't even smoke weed. I feel like we're running on tangents.
No, dude, I'm ADD as fuck. So we'll start
bad.
here and we'll end over there.
We're good for conversation,
Yeah.
but it's going to go everywhere.
Everyone's like, will you guys stay on one fucking topic?
Yeah, task at hand.
No, as far as I brought this up the other day where I was like, I didn't play Chris Brown for like a good 6 years because I was like, I took Rihanna's side on that
Now,
one.
I was going to say, he's not talking about Trapped at the DJ booth. He's talking about Chris Brown, the R&B singer.
Yeah. I didn't play, like, up until I think that happened, and then he did a track with Bang Benazzi. I think there was like 4 or 5 years that went by, and I finally, like, I think
did
it was
that track with Lil Dicky. That's a pretty dope track.
that was a dope track, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this, man. The dude makes some hits, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, stay out of the fucking news. Like, stop kidnapping people. Stop fucking smacking girls up. Please. I got used to playing your records again. Stop.
Stop. Yeah.
Stop fucking up. Don't be like R. Kelly, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking nasty assy. So we're gonna circle back.
Yeah.
Lemmy, Motorhead.
All right. So when I first moved to LA, I used to go to the Rainbow Room all the time. Are you familiar with the Rainbow Room?
Bar and Grill, yeah. Off of Sunset, right?
Yes, one of the most iconic, like 80s. Anyone, I'll give you a hint. If you go to LA and you want to go to the Rainbow Room to like see people or on Sunset, don't go on a weekend. That's the tourist time. The locals come out on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays. It's nothing but it's crazy. I ran into Andy Dick there. I ran into Cypress Hill there. I ran into Corey Taylor there. Ran into Serge Tankian. Fucking NSYNC was there. Like I ran into people I would go Sunday through Tuesday and I just networked with people. But Lemmy was always, when he wasn't on tour, he was always there. He was playing in the back, his machines. He loved playing his machines and he would just have a beer. And me being from Milwaukee, when I went there, I'm like, where's the beer? Let's drink. Woo! Just fucking, and everyone else is like doing a bunch of designer drugs and shit. So Lemmy would get a kick out of me and he'd laugh because I would always be yelling, ruckus and all this stupid shit. And I remember one time, I was pretty fucked up, and I was like, bartender, I need a Heineken, and she's like, you're cut off. And I said, what? I'm cut off? I was like, why? She's like, you're running around yelling. She's like, I can't have that. And then Lemmy's like, whatever her name is, like Heather or whatever. He's like, come here. And I see him talking to her, and I'm sitting on the other side of the bar, and she's like, she comes walking over with a Heineken. She's like, Lemmy bought you one. I was like, yes, Lemmy just bought me a drink. And I went over to Lemmy, and I was like, Lemmy, thank you so much. He's like, cheers, mate. You know how to party. I will remember that story to the day I die. The bartender was so pissed that she couldn't cut me off.
Just,
she was the jet. She was like this. Lemmy bought you this.
wait, time out. Do you need another one?
Yes.
Hey, Randon, can you do me a favor? Can you run and grab another White Claw for Captain Claw over here? Thank you so much.
No, I'm just kidding.
There's a Japanese whiskey over there too.
Japanese whiskey.
Randon, you want to do me a favor? You want to grab 2 rocks glasses too? Grab the whiskey. So he got me this amazing bottle of whiskey for Christmas, and it's this Japanese whiskey. We actually opened it up for the first time when Jordan was here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's so smooth.
It's good?
Yeah, he did a really good job on picking that out.
Yeah.
And the problem is that with you may or may not have the same issue with not playing shows 6-7 nights a week for the last year. I can't drink for shit. Like, I'll have one of these and I'll just be like, dunzo. Yeah. But I haven't been able to drink it all, and Yeah, I'll have like a beer and a half now, and I'll start talking shit to my girl. I'm like, hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? What you doing later? Hi. Hey. And I'll be like, oh, you over there just looking for... And she's like, are you drunk already? I'm like, maybe.
Well, that's it. I saw you got that Rancid poster.
Oh, yeah, dude. So this... I'll pull this out. So I got this at the...
that sign?
Yeah. That was for the Dropkick... or not Dropkick Murphy. That was... the other punk band, Dropkick Murphy. What I thought I was saying Flogging Molly for some reason.
Yeah.
So it was Dropkick and it's not going back up there.
You haven't even had your shot yet. You're already fucked up.
I'm trying to like stay on the mic and like put stuff away, and I'm like, I don't want to fold this the wrong way.
It's nice that I don't have. Usually, I have to run everything wherever I'm doing. This is nice to like be the guest and like I'm gonna fucking be the asshole today. You do this shit.
So yeah, I've watched your podcast.
Yeah.
Are you running everything from your laptop then?
Well, from a computer that sitting, kind of like you have, but it's in the basement. So I'm trying to still figure out everything with the mics and stuff like that. It's been a little bit of a learning curve for me.
Thank you. Oh, you pulled out ice too? Oh, he knows what's up. And he got the White Claw. Look at that.
Yeah, that works.
All right, I'll do a shot with you.
I want to be really loud, but I'm trying not to fuck things up on the podcast. Cheers, America.
Boom.
What were we talking? Oh, so Rancid, yeah. On the new Scarhead record, we actually have Lars Fredriksson from Rancid doing a track with Danny on that.
Oh, hell's yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Lars is good friends with one of my teammates, CM Punk. And there are a few times I've ever been pissed off at people at my gym. It was Duke and Tammy. And he posts this photo of him and Lars at the gym.
Wait, who did this?
Duke from our gym.
Duke Rufus?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he posted a photo with him and Lars, and I was like, hey, you guys know I'm a huge Rancid fan, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, totally. I was like, no phone call? No text message? I was like, I thought we were fucking homies, man. What the fuck?
He's like, nah, Lars said he doesn't want to talk to you.
I was like,
that's what I would have told you.
I was like, is he still there? They're like, no. He watched Punk fight, and then he took off. And I was like,
really?
I was like, this happens again? I was like, you guys call me.
Yeah.
I'm coming down. I'm a fanboy the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Here, anyway, cheers. Thank you for coming
brother.
on, brother.
To the Zero Podcast show.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you ripped that whole thing here. You need another one?
No.
Okay.
I'm good right now.
Oh, yeah, you still got to drive back.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I ended up going to go see them at, I keep forgetting what the fuck that place is called now, the amphitheater.
Oh, we were just talking about this.
Yeah. What the fuck isn't it? Is it American Family?
I don't know. That's
Summerfest.
Well, nothing's open, so it doesn't fucking matter. Just call it
the Summerfest amphitheater.
The empty lot that used to be a fuck.
The cool place we used to see.
Where we walk around with our COVID walks because we can't do anything yet.
It's so depressing. I will say this in comparison to 2020, at least the weather's nice. As opposed to like, dude, I felt like, was it 2020 was just like, dude, it took till I think the end of June to actually like warm up. Where now it's like, dude, it's like 70. It was 72 the other day. I had the dog and just let her off the leash and let her run around for a while. But yeah, I just felt like every day I woke up.
It's gonna take a long time for things to be like normal, though. You know what I mean?
It's tough, man. I will say this: like the fact that so many of the festivals have already just said that we're canceled, like Festa Italiana canceled. They're saying that Mexican Fiesta may be happening because it's like the end of August.
Yeah, they're looking at the fall, but again, Wisconsinites like to go out and drink in the summertime,
and it's outdoors. It's not. I mean, if UV light is supposed to be killing,
we're not getting into this. It's going to turn to politics again. I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago, and a lot of shit was closed down still. But the things that were open, there's a ton of people that want to go out and do things. So everything that was open was mass packed instead of it just being like everything open and spread out.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So everyone's still huddled together, but they say because of COVID, 6 feet, you can't do that on those lines and stuff like that. It was impossible. It made no sense.
What's crazy to me is that my friend John lives right across the street.
Yeah.
And he was telling me when he was out in Vegas, he goes, it's one of those where you can walk around the casino floor, you can smoke, but the second that cigarette goes out, your mask has to go up. And I'm like, you were just smoking and walking through a casino. Like,
yeah,
none of these rules
doesn't make sense. But I mean, I get it because they're trying to just be as safe as possible. And,
Yeah.
and granted, with the masks, it does bring things. We saw a spike go down. You know what I mean? So even after they lift all the sanctions, I'm sure there are going to be people that still wear it. I just don't want to see people fighting like, oh, you're being selfish for, you know what I mean? Like, everyone wants to do their part, but also everyone wants to have a little freedom. You gotta, it's a little bit of give and take. You know what I mean?
That goes back to, I don't know if we were talking about this off air. See, this is why I always said that. I was like, everything we talk about, we should talk about on air.
Yeah.
We did talk about this on air, where people have different opinions, and no one really sees a middle ground. It's left or right. There's really
That's
no.
not the way to look at it.
Yeah, and there has to be a level of understanding. The big thing that I see for it is a lot of people talk online, and you can't read inflection.
Yeah,
like what people are really saying,
and
or
that's a major
sarcasm.
problem. Yes.
And I think too many people take it way too seriously.
But you want to know what's irresponsible is, even like, let's say this interview, if you just chopped up 2 sentences of what I said or you said and put it in a headline, it would look bad. Like, I want freedom. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, DRP says I want freedom. No, I said that in there, but I said all this other shit. And people just read the headline and go, that fucking asshole, thumbs down, blah, 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 I'm boycotting. They do that to everybody.
Yeah. By the way, if you're part of cancel culture, this is not your podcast.
And this is not, don't come to Force 5 Records. It'll destroy you.
I actually debated about putting like a disclaimer, like if you are easily offended, if you're part of this, that, and the other, please don't tune in.
Yeah.
Because you're going to hate every second of this.
They're trying to cancel Joe Rogan now. I feel like he is one of the most inflective, and he listens to every scope of things, and they're trying to cancel him now.
Oh, what did I miss, dude? So what happened?
Well, there's a few different things. He's on Spotify now, right?
Yeah.
So he's had this thing for a while. What's that transgender fighter that broke another girl's skull?
Oh, that's Fallon Fox.
Fallon Fox.
That 2 fractured skulls.
Was it 2? That's the same girl, or
no?
Oh, she's fractured.
Fallon Fox has, in the fights that she has done, 2 girls left with fractured skulls.
Okay, so all he's saying is, if they're gonna have a class, let the transgender class be. It should be men fighting men, women fighting women. Have a transgender one.
There's a lot of push for that. You see that in states. There's states that are making that, and the reason for it is, and I agree with this, is that there are the reason why there's men and women's sports is for the fact that men are allocated so much money along with women for scholarships, for sponsorships, so on and so forth. What ended up happening is I forgot the name of the girl, but she's a girl out of Texas. There was a YouTube video that was out on her, and she had said that because of the fact that there was trans athlete that she was competing with, that she missed out on all these scholarships and possibilities for training at like the Olympic Center, so on and so forth, because she was just getting blown out of the water.
Yeah.
Instead of taking first place, she was taking like third place.
Yeah.
So what she said is that these are supposed to be equal sports for women, equal sports for men, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But she's not competing against men, but she's competing against someone that has the advantages of testosterone being in their system for a certain period of time, where men are faster than women. But that statement right there triggers people, and I get it.
But why does that? That's natural genetics. Are you going to argue that?
Can
you argue that?
You and I can't argue it.
I'm not belittling any other person the way they feel. If you want to be a squirrel, I'll drink with you at the bar.
Yeah.
I'd probably gravitate to you first. You're a fucking squirrel. Do you drink? Are we friends now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck about that. But you can't argue certain things. Men, naturally, not all men, but men are naturally stronger than women. They shouldn't be beating the shit out of women.
Yeah.
Now, some women can beat the fuck out of men. Like, there's some meaty women out there that'll beat the fuck out of you.
The point of what I was getting to is that I think the trans group should have its own competing class.
Yes.
But at the same time, I don't think, and this is me kind of, I don't know this for a fact, I don't think that community is big enough to be able to have a real competitive class. Where Fallon Fox, I don't know how many transgender MMA fighters there are out there.
That'd be interesting to find that out. Yeah.
But I get that this person still wants to compete, but it's not it's not an even playing field.
Not yet. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, even there's certain women that are out there that, like Amanda Nunes, this bitch hits like a fucking train, bro.
Yeah.
Just ruins girl. There was a girl that had she had PTSD. She just fought the other day on Bellator. I'm trying to think of her name. Kat Zingano. She said she couldn't like be around like bright lights for like 6 months. That's how hard this girl hits.
Oh, Amanda Nunes fucking gave her.
Yeah, gave her
Damn.
gave her PTSD. Like she had to get all these scans and stuff like that. And that's a girl that just knocks out guys at ATT.
Yeah,
like she's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what the right answer is for the trans thing.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something so that these women athletes don't feel like they're getting dicked over.
As the world keeps moving forward, I'm sure, hopefully,
we come to a solution.
We come to a solution to it. Yeah.
But I think the way you do that though too is people got to listen to each other. People got to talk, and that's the big thing is that there has to be a level of communication. My thing is this: is that I don't understand the right way of doing that. Like I don't know. I don't think I do. I don't think I know any trans people. What I'd like to do,
I actually know a few. You know what I mean?
What I'd like to do is hear what their opinion is on it, and kind of be able to form my opinion from there. But right now, this is where my opinion is until it's influenced by someone else.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is that I get in the level of fairness that people want to be like, hey, you can't say that. Well, no, we have to talk about these things. That we have to educate each other.
Yes. Not
necessarily fight and butt heads, but be like, hey, this is my opinion. What do you think? Oh, I kind of like this part of your opinion. I disagree with that.
And I guess as the world keeps moving, you're seeing that even in Hollywood and stuff like that, they're trying to make sure, the experiences of black people, of Asian, like everything, they're trying to like make it more integrated, but there's going to be growing pains to that.
Yeah.
But people can't just fucking like, this is the way it's going to be, boom, and shut everything down. You got to be able to listen and keep working through this. That's on both sides.
Yeah. I think one of the hardest thing is that people don't have patience. The way the world is now, everything's instant.
It's instant. I say that in music marketing now, it's a different beast. When I was in S.O.R.E, we toured on an album for 3 years and just kept promoting it and touring. Nowadays, you drop something and a month later, it's old news. 2 days later, it's old news sometimes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because people's attention spans, you have this thing in your hand and you're constantly seeing new shit. You're like, oh, that was yesterday. I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's hard. Like, I had thought about that a lot when it comes to music, is the fact that I remember there were like when Usher's Yeah came out.
Yeah.
I think I played that for every gig for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And people were requesting it.
Yeah.
They were
that long.
For that long.
Mm-hmm. Hey, House of Pain's Jump Around's a staple forever, brother.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hells yeah. I still play that almost every show. But like I'll play a track that's maybe 2 months old that was popular for like the first month it came out. And people are like, oh, you still play that? I'm like, this shit's 2 months old. Like, and fucking.
That makes me sad as artists. Like that, it's so disposable. You see a lot of artists now. I'm not knocking new artists because I think there's some great new artists, but you see a lot of these guys. They're just dropping a single every month, and it gets picked up for a month. Or people like it, and then they forget about it, and then they drop another one, and it's becoming so cheapened by it. Now I'm saying that in like hip hop type world. In the metal world stuff, it's different because it takes a lot more to write a metal song. There's a lot more recording. It's more expensive. So that shit lasts longer. That's why I'm glad like 80s and 90s hip hop icons are being respected more now. For a while, people were like, oh, that shit's old. Like, Public Enemy, like they're gonna forever. But in the metal world, Iron Maiden, Kiss, Metallica, Slayer, forever they're gonna be well respected because metal world, we remember that shit. I don't know why hip hop is not that way. You're starting to see it a little bit more now. But with the new hip hop heads, like a lot of these new artists, a lot of them, they're probably making millions of dollars. Respect to you. Fuck yeah.
Make your money.
But they're not going to be remembered.
Yeah. I will say this as far as the hip hop scene goes, and I've said this on previous podcasts, the women, ladies of hip hop are fucking murdering it. Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. Like,
Snow the Product. She's underground.
Oh,
but she's
dude, I know
her
too.
Yeah.
I saw her. She was on a promo disc I got back in like 2012, and I was bumping that shit when it first came out. And people were like, who is this? I was like, Snow the Producer. She actually came to town recently, or like right before COVID at the rave.
My old lady wanted to go see it, but I can't remember why she couldn't make it. I think I was out of town or something. I'm always out of town when she wants to see a show.
Yeah. Where was I going with this before? We were talking about hip hop.
Yeah.
Ladies of hip hop, they're just fucking murdering it. Mm-hmm. And the production on all their shit is top flight. I can't stand a lot of the male rappers now because everything's just like so
a lot of it
auto-tuned,
is yeah,
reverb.
I mean, I like Schoolboy Q. He's like modern. I mean, he's a little bit older now too, but of the modern trap artists, I like him a lot. I love Kendrick Lamar. Who doesn't like Kendrick?
Kendrick, Schoolboy Q,
Yellow
2
Wolf
Chainz.
is great.
Oh, we went to a couple of Yellow Wolf shows.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to work with him? Because I remember
his first show in Milwaukee. It was me and him on a Sunday night. There was like 80 people there, and I'll never forget the minute he hit the stage. I was like, this motherfucker's gonna be huge. Here's another story.
No, go ahead, dude.
30-second story.
No, tell us as many as you want.
I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get a track with him, before he blows up. So this is when Trunk Music came out.
Oh, dude, that was a banger.
Yeah. So I'm like, yo, Yella, let's do this track. I was like, I'll pay you $1,000 to do this track. And I was talking to his boys and stuff like that. And like, okay, after this, we'll discuss it more. And then he had 2 chicks come up to him, and he forgot about me after that. And then 2 days later in Detroit, he signed to Shady Aftermath.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah. So since then, I can't get a hold of him.
No,
Yella, if you're around.
Hook
your boy to DRP up. Danny Diablo, DRP, Yellow Wolf. Let's do this.
Hells yeah, dude. He put out a country record 5 years ago.
Oh, Love Story?
Was that it?
Well, I mean, that's one of his records. I mean, he's putting out a ton of shit. He
Yeah.
just put out an album with Caskey that's super dope.
With Cassidy?
Caskey.
Oh, Caskey. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been keeping up to date.
No.
With not DJing, dude, it's so easy just to be
You
like,
better start getting this shit together. You got to get back on and do this shit soon.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
Don't be playing Usher's Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I had to do that Jägermeister behind the shot mix, and they had hit me up, and I was like, all right, cool. So I started going through and doing the production for it and laying out an outline and whatnot. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, do I still know how to do this? Dude, I had to play for like a half hour before I started recording because I was like, it's like, can I still mix? Like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, I can't scratch for shit.
Well, you got to do a lot of that. I don't know a lot of like the modern techno type acts or anything like that. I couldn't tell you any of that.
There's a ton of them right now. I mean, it's the market.
I haven't been out to a club in a while. The only time I heard that shit was when I came up by you.
I mean, there's a ton of them, man. But it's constantly changing, and that's the thing is that, guys that were staples in EDM. Yeah. I mean, they still have their name, but there's so many of them now.
Is Bad Boy Bill still around?
He is.
Is he really?
Yeah. Actually, dude, I played with him.
What? You played with Bad Boy Bill?
7 or 8 years ago. No, it was before I left for Vegas, so it had to be like 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
It was me, Bad Boy Bill, and then Carmen Electra hosted it. Yeah, it was one of Silk's anniversary parties.
Oh, that's dope.
And it was great in the sense that like they're like, okay, we're gonna do 4 turntables, 1 mixer, so on and so forth. And I had to get all the equipment and whatnot. And they're like, okay.
I've been like this. Where's Carmen Electra?
So that's the crazy part about this. So I'm on stage DJing, and the owner of Silk texts me. He's like, hey, can you drop Carmen Electra's song into your set? And I instantly reply back, no, explanation
No,
point.
you didn't.
I was like, whatever this girl's making, it can be good. And so her assistant literally walks out on stage and is like, I'm going to airdrop this to your computer. He's like, I'd
have been like, if I play this for Carmen, how nice she's going to be to me. She give me a kiss on the cheek.
Dude, she was dating, what's the dude from America's Got Talent? Or not America's Got, Simon Cowell.
Wait. She was dating Simon Cowell?
I don't know if that was supposed to be public information or not.
Oh, shit.
My bad.
Oh, headlines. Simon Cowell. I'm just kidding. I don't want to.
Dude, the 5 people that are watching this are going to be like, shut the fuck up. Or I've already told this story to them. But they were dating at the time, so yeah, I didn't have a shot in hell. Yeah. I was like, that dude's got fucking long money. I was like, I'm a thousandaire.
You're a much better looking man, though. If I was gay, I'd bang you first.
You know what? Keep giving them these White Claws. I appreciate all the compliments. But yeah.
Of course, if I never wanted to work again, I would bang Simon Cowell. So see you later, Parker.
But yeah. So her assistant airdropped the song onto my computer, and I took a listen to it, and I was like, "This is hot garbage."
Did you play it?
I played it.
I
bit the corporate.
And you
dick,
didn't even
bro.
get a kiss on the cheek, sucker.
And you know what? I didn't even get a photo with her. I didn't get shit.
Really?
I got 2 things: Jack and fucking shit from that broad.
And Jack left town.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the highlight for me was playing with Bad Boy Bill, and then his guy they brought with him was another DJ from Chicago, He was part of the Vice Squad or Vice DJs. And I was like, oh, I'm like, I know who the fuck you are. I'm like, you're a resident at such and such.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. And he's like, dude, you dropped an amazing set. And I was like, really? I was like, you didn't invite me down to Chicago? I was like, hook a homie up, dude. Milwaukee don't pay a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure Chicago pays a lot more for their clubs. I wonder how all those clubs are doing down in Chicago. Like, those people got to be dying too with the COVID.
They've been closed, man. Like, we have, so as far as like my career with Silk goes, we have a ton of girls that come up from Chicago and work by us because all those clubs have been shut down. So I don't know what's going on with them. I know the mayor, or not the mayor, the governor at one point said that they had to start reopening stuff. Otherwise, businesses weren't going to be open. Yeah. And that's the thing, man, is that I get it, COVID, but at the same time, you know, you got all those businesses downtown that are paying those huge nuts every fucking month.
Yeah, those rents on those places, man.
Yeah. And I'm like, PPP loan, all right. But if you're a place like Gibson's and that fucking nut you got to make is like $50K, like to pay rent on that fucking place. God. And that's me pulling a number out of my ass. But, you know, whatever it is that they got to pay on that building every fucking month. Yeah. If they don't own that, like, you know, and that's every bar down there. That's every office down there too. So what do you do? Yeah. The Mid, all those venues. I'm trying to think of what's, not the Hammerstein. That's in New York. I'm trying to think of the venue for concerts down there.
City Lounge.
That's
which is no more. Which is no more.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Alex sold the bar.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen some fucking. You put on some amazing shows out there. We didn't even talk about that at all.
Yeah, I've forgotten more than I. It goes.
Dude, I feel you on that. Yeah. I will say this. Probably one of the coolest ones was I ran into you at one point. And like, bro, I got the chick from Flyleaf playing at City Lounge. I was like, what? I was like, Lacey's.
Oh, you were at that show?
Yeah.
Did you go to the David Allan Coe show there too, or no?
No, I was out of town for that one.
Okay.
But no, that was one you told me about, and I was like, fuck, I got out of town. I was like, God damn it. I'm like, I want to go see that one. Yeah. But dude, it was one of those. I have a videotape of it, or not videotape, but I have video of it on my phone, and I've showed it to friends, and they're like, dude, is Flyleaf playing in your backyard? Because they have that huge, that stone encounter. Yeah, I was like, no, I was like, this is City Lounge out in Cudahy. I was like,
Bubba Sparks there had Lazy Bone, right. Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs there.
Dude, I wanted to see the Bubba Sparks show, dude. I was playing Bubba Sparks Friday.
Cudahy, you lost a gem with City Lounge, you dickheads.
Fuck yeah. So what happened? He just wanted to get out?
He was getting tired, just tired. And you know what? COVID fucked things up too, you know what I mean? So he was in the bar business for 12 years. You've been in the bar business basically for a long time. You know how cutthroat it can be and how tiring it can be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even though you're DJing there and all that, but you know the behind the scenes.
Dude, behind the scenes, let me tell you something. So my girlfriend had never seen Cocktail before, and I fucking lost my goddamn mind. Number one, she had never seen Goonies.
What?
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. She had never seen Goonies, so I made her watch Goonies, and we're talking about like other 80 cult films. I was like, you ever see 16 Candles? She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So quick backstory really quick. So I was trying to make the Long Duck Dong sample where he's like, hey, sexy girlfriend. I was trying to make that my text alert every time she texts me. Yeah. And she's like, who the fuck is Long Duck Dong? And I almost had a fucking aneurysm.
I do that with my old lady all the time. She doesn't remember. She's a little bit younger than me, so she doesn't know the 80s flicks. She was born in 90, 91, so
I've been making her watch all this. And so circling back to what I was saying, I've been in the bar industry long enough where I watch Cocktails. I have PTSD because I'm like, oh my God, I remember the exact moment in my life when I was like, when I left the city I was working in, I went and worked in a vacation area. Yeah. I was like, and I did this, and I was like, oh, and one of the guys I was co-working with slept with one of my girlfriends. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like I was watching I watched 30 minutes of this. So I was like, I can't fucking watch this.
I'm done. Is this my life story?
I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, I remember watching this when I was a teenager and be like, who would have this fucked up of a life? And I was like, this is an outline for my fucking life. I was like, God damn it. So yeah, I was like, you can watch this by yourself. I'm like, I'm going to go work on music in the studio. But yeah, where the fuck were we going with this? Oh, being in the bar industry long enough. Yeah. That's a bummer, dude. City Lounge was such a great spot. Mm-hmm. Dude, that patio was fucking tits, dude.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the new owners, God bless them. I hope it does well for them. So
hopefully, man.
Yeah.
Are you still gonna do shows with them with the new owners, or
I don't know. Well, I'll have the first time I get in, they're drunk, and we'll see how nice they are to me. Because people either really like me or hate me when I'm jumping around the tables.
rockers?
Yeah. They're like, If they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Get him out. I'll be like, But they're like, hey.
I like your energy.
Yeah. They're like,
you like shows? You like making money?
yeah.
Let's work together.
Yeah.
Here's some more PBRs. Tell us your ideas. I'm sorry, White Claws.
Yeah. I've gone up from the PBRs, man.
I still, you know what? We've had this conversation a million times. I've still yet to drink a White Claw.
What?
Still never. I stick to, so there's...
I like Stella, Heineken's.
I stick to Boddingtons and Scotch. Those are the two things those are the only two things I really drink these days.
Sorry, we're not hoity-toity over here, you dickhead.
You know what? You should have one because the
Boddingtons?
It's fucking amazing.
And Scotch.
Well, I mean, not together, but
I was gonna say, you just.
I'm not like drinking
You're like, welcome to the podcast show. Zero Cool.
I did have a round ice cube in here before.
You're like, we're gonna drink Scotch and talk.
We're gonna talk MMA. We're gonna talk music.
I'm trying to think of something really intellectual to talk about.
We're gonna talk politics. We're gonna talk about.
We've already talked way too much politics.
My show already got canceled.
Yeah, YouTube's already shut it down.
We're 10 episodes in. I was like,
my shit's got shut down. All my websites.
I was like, it was a good run. 10 episodes. That's what it took me. Once again, thank you to the 5 people that tune into this every week.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
Yeah. Oh shit, dude! I've been having a problem with this fucking thing. I lost noise. This isn't working anymore. You blew out one of my eardrums.
Sorry, I'm trying. Is it that loud? Is it loud?
No. So I try to avoid trying to sound nasally and Midwestern.
Yeah.
So I crank this up to make sure that I articulate because I can hear every nuance of how I talk.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those that if you yell, it's just. But no, it's all good, dude. Yell as much as you want. I still got one eardrum left.
I want to do the Ric Flair woos, but
woo!
Yeah.
Dude, did you ever watch the 30 for 30 with him?
No.
It's fucking good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anything with Ric Flair is entertaining as fuck.
Dude, so they talk about like, or he tells stories about how he was going around the road and he would have like a 30-pack of beer riding shotgun with him and all the empties would just go flying in the back seat.
I'm sure he had a little more besides those beers. He had a little.
Yeah. that old trucker Coke. Yeah. But one of the funny stories, I forgot if this was on the actual one or if it was the extras on it. But he's telling a story on there about how he wakes up one day and he would call them aliens, girls. And he didn't know where the hell he was. And he was in a hotel and he like wakes the girls up. He's like, hey. And the girls wake up. They're like, what's up? He's like, where the fuck's my Rolex? They're like, you don't remember? He's like, remember what? He's like, you got pissed off at the restaurant that we were at last night and you took your Rolex off, threw it in a bowl of pasta and said, fuck you, I got 15 more of these at home and stormed off. And I was like, that's baller. And then they cut back to him and he's like, yeah, he's like, I would call them aliens. And they cut to his wife right afterwards. And she's like, yeah, Rick wasn't the most faithful.
Oh my God. Different time.
Yeah. 80s were, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the 80s was really thankful there was no cancel culture around.
Or videos, video all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm glad back then they didn't have all videos all the time.
You know what? I miss I do miss like being able to see like all the stuff because when I was in middle school and elementary school, like I didn't take a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Like childhood friends and shit like
Yeah.
that. I thought would be great.
No,
but
you're right. But the problem is it becomes a thing where it's too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was on the flight to Vegas and I went in my phone because I was bored and I got rid of 4,000 pictures that was in my phone.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
ridiculous that I have that many shit.
You had that many dick pics.
Yeah. Only half of it. No, but like, well, for social media, I have to run a lot of social media things for Subnoise and for Force 5. So I'm constantly screenshotting shit, putting it on this page. Right before this, what did we do? Right before we started the show, I'm like, all right, which platform should I put it on? Let's do this video. You know what I mean? Like, it gets to be, you have to do it. There's a means to ends. It's important, but it's too much sometimes. And like, the phone's constantly buzzing. We're losing sight of like the nice things that we see around us. And I'm just as guilty. I'm not saying it's like I'm better than you. I do that all the time, and I hate it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. It's one of those where I feel that I'm like, I need to take a photo. I need to take a video, and I'm like, fuck it, enjoy the fucking moment. Especially concerts, man.
Yeah.
You're too busy like trying to get that great shot.
Yep.
And to be honest, dude, it sounds like shit on your phone anyway, dude.
Yeah.
Take a photo.
But you want to take it and be like, hey, check out what I'm doing. It's so fucking cool. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
you want to share your life with everyone, but I feel at the same time doing that, you're missing out on it at the same time.
See, that's it too. Like, DMX just died, right? Everyone, they grieve in a certain way. I've had a lot of friends die of overdose, all this shit. I don't talk about it. I don't talk about a lot of personal shit on my social media. It's all promotion and stuff. But like, yeah, I'd like to post a picture of DMX, but I feel like it means more to me if I just internalize. Like, DMX meant a lot to me as a artist coming up. You know what I mean? Like, but everyone does it, and I have no problem with that. But like, I try to like, I'm not gonna post this. I'm not gonna post like my kids. I try not to post too much about them, even though I want to like take pictures and post like for my family and see like, oh, look at she got her license today. But like, something's got to be private. You know what I mean? Like, and as a social media stuff, too many people post all their thoughts and ideas in there. Like, oh, I'm mad at my girlfriend right now. This and that. Like, you can't do that shit. You know what I mean? So,
I think over time, a lot of that is it comes with maturity.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is I'll take a look at the Facebook memories. I have this thing called Time Hop. There's a lot of great stuff where it brings up a lot of great memories.
Yeah.
But there's also times where I go, why the fuck did I post that?
I had a few things like that not too long ago. I'm like, this is why I don't post this shit. Like, delete that. It's like 8 years old. I'm like, delete that fucking bullshit.
And it's just so cringy. But it comes with time where you go, okay, I get it. I get how this is supposed to work now. This isn't the platform for that. Like for me, it's I promote this. I promote my shows.
In the entertainment world, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
But I will say this, during the lockdown, it was nice because I just deleted all of it.
Yeah.
And I'd always said, if I wasn't a DJ anymore, if I wasn't doing entertainment anymore, I would just delete all of it.
I would too, but the thing is, my heart is in entertainment. You're never going to shut that off.
Yeah. Well, when I wasn't working, I was just like, fuck it, dude. I'm like, I'm going to take a break. It was nice. 2 months of not having it.
Yeah.
And then even after stuff reopened, I still didn't post about it. There was stream stuff that I was doing with McGillicuddy's and a bunch of Milwaukee DJs and shit like that. And I didn't post about it. And I was just like, fuck it. I was like, these guys are posting about it. They have social media. I'm just going to be there, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude, the shit's tolling. And then that's the other thing, too, is drawing the line. Where's the line of personal and business? You know, you want to share everything with everyone, but at the same time, like, there's that crazy part of you where it goes, someone's fucking stalking me, someone's doing this, someone's taking notes of my family.
Yep.
And you can never be too careful.
Yep.
I mean, even if it's whether you have 5 or 5 million people following you, where do you draw that line?
Yep.
Or the worst part is, like, the shit that I constantly see, there's people I follow on, like, Instagram and shit like that, and everything's just a fucking ad. And it's just like, fuck, will you just actually do something that's genuine?
Genuine, yeah.
Instead of, like, check out my CBD, check out the sports activewear, so on and so forth, that is available at www.
Check out White Claws and New York Hardcore.
No, your own shit, fine.
Yeah.
But if it's something like
Force 5 Records. Where is that? I can't see where it is.
this one right here.
Boom.
Force 5, White Claws, New York Hardcore streetwear. But yeah, I mean, if it's your own shit, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if it's I don't know, if you painted this painting up here, like you're promoting your own shit, cool.
And Tom Petty at the same time.
Oh yeah. By the way, shout out to Donald Tarpt on Instagram. He did the Petty, and then right behind you is Bon Scott and Biggie.
Oh shit! I didn't even see those.
Yeah.
Dope.
He does amazing fucking work.
Yeah.
I've sent. Do you know the wrestler Brody?
Mm-mm.
He was famous wrestler. He got murdered after a wrestling match down in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then I forgot how they did a whole behind the ring type of deal with Chris Jericho hosted it. But my friend Big Smooth's a big fan of Brody, and he's a big fan of WWE and hardcore wrestling and stuff like that. And so as a thank you, because he always hooks me up whenever I go to Vegas, like he was the guy that got me in to go see 2 Chainz. He's like, I've seen Nelly and like all these different rappers out at Dre's Beach Club. And as a thank you, I sent him a Brody painting. And I was like, dude, when you get framed up in your house, I was like, send me a photo.
Yeah.
And Matthias from Jägermeister, I think I sent him a Bon Scott one as well. I send those out as gifts, and everyone's always like, dude, this is fucking amazing. If you look at that, there's like articles from when Biggie was in the news and shit like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty dope. It was all a dream.
Hells yeah, dude. Dude, I still play Biggie. Dude,
Yeah?
you know what's crazy to me? Dropping Hypnotize and seeing college kids.
I was going to say, they couldn't be that old to remember that shit.
I'm like, you kids were literally scratches in your kids
Yeah.
and your dad's fucking jockstrap when this fucking song came out. Like
Yeah.
kids that were born in 2000 just going fucking ham to Biggie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck do you know this? I was like, do you have like an older brother, older sister? And they're like, everyone knows Biggie. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Or the really weird thing is like when you get like college kids that come up to you and they go, yo, do you got Crisscross? And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I could see like Beastie Boys or something like that, but
No.
they know Crisscross?
I was like,
That first Crisscross record's still dope.
dude, that was
the bus.
That was Jermaine Dupri, dude,
Yeah,
who produced
yeah,
that shit,
yeah.
dude. Dude, he was on fire back
yeah.
then. But
Warm it up, Chris.
I'm about to. That was
Beats are dope.
that was the ongoing joke whenever I'd play with YB, Chris YB.
Yeah.
I would always like before he would go on before me, I'd drop "Warm it up, Chris," and he'd be like walking him to stage. He's like, "I'm about to." Oh yeah, he was on here. I think episode 3. Him and Steve Marks. Being able to talk with the other DJs is always a fucking blast.
Yeah.
Man. Do you get to hang out with like other artists too, like outside guys from Force 5, or is it just like you just keep it kind of tight these days?
No, I mean, I kick it with whoever, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but like I said, lately since the COVID, haven't been able to like really go out and see many people. So
Yeah. God damn, I just want this shit to be over with. I want to just rage into the summer.
I'll probably die once they open everything up because I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. You're gonna see me running around Milwaukee naked as fuck. Trust me.
Dude, a case of White Claw under one arm.
Just yelling, "Woo! Freedom!" Like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
Ah, fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
But what the hell else did we have to talk about? The Ruckus mixtape, S.O.R.E, MOD. Oh, you know what? I wanted to circle back to. How the hell did you end up with Primer 55? You never told me a story.
Basically, this is a funny story. My first solo record I was working on, I was trying to collect a lot of like my favorite artists to like do songs with me on there. So I had already the Rugged Man on there, Potluck, Critical Bill from Detroit, which they were signed to Tech 9 for a while. But Justin Morales was working at the rave. He's like, hey, Primer 55's doing a show here. You should come in and say what's up to him and try to network. So I'm like, yeah. I was like, actually, I wouldn't mind getting Jason on a song. So I went to the show. You could tell Jason was having his issues and stuff like that. And I talked to their manager. I'm like, hey, I'd like to do a song with Jason. They're like, okay, we'll talk about it. But they're like, I can't remember exactly how it came to be. I ended up talking to Bobby Burns, which me and Bobby have a strained relationship now, but whatever. It is what it is. He's like, hey, you rap? Are you like, can you do other things besides rap? I'm like, yeah, I've been in a metal band my whole life. I was like, so I gave him a S.O.R.E CD. And I was like, just check it out. But I was like, you, me, and Jason should write a song together. I was like, I'll hook you up with some money. We'll make this legit. And like a month later, he hit me up. He's like, hey, Jason is not going to be in the band anymore. We're looking for a few people to try out. Would you be interested in trying out? And I said, of course, And he's like, here's 2 songs. Get this done by this weekend. Let me hear what you did with them. And we're going to, make a decision. And the songs were like, they weren't really Primer 55. I'm like, is he fucking with me? I don't know. But I was like, well, I'm going to write to these 2. I have those demos somewhere. I really got to uncover those fuckers. So I got the call. Like, I sent him to him on like a Sunday. And on Monday, he called me up. He's like, hey, do you want to join Primer 55? I'm like, fuck yeah. He's like, okay, we're going on the road in 3 weeks. I'm like, holy shit. So
you learned all the songs.
Yeah, I
in
learned
3
all
weeks?
the songs. Yeah, I had one practice with him. I went down to Atlanta. We had a rehearsal the day before the tour, and then I went out and toured with him. Half the songs, I mean, I knew about 80% of them, but I had to learn like 15 songs, and I'm like, I can't remember all the riffs and stuff like that. And I remember I would write notes on my hand for the first few shows, be like, da 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 da. And the crazy thing, the other 2 guys that were in the band, it was me, Bobby Burns, and Billy Gray and Frank Fonsaeri. Frank was from Stuck Mojo, huge Atlanta band, but now Frank and Billy are in Fozzy with Chris Jericho. Yeah, they're good friends of mine.
Oh, when they come back to town, I'm fucking pissed. I had to work. They were playing a show on a Wednesday at Shank Hall, and I wanted to go to it so bad. I actually, in my regular DJing at Silk, I play Fozzy all the fucking time. Yeah, I remember when was it Do You Want to Start a War came out, and I remember Chris Jericho tried to describe it as like a dance track, and I was like, that's not a dance track. I was like, it's a fucking great fucking song.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've done some amazing. If that's the new lineup in the last probably 4 to 6 years, they've done amazing work with that band.
Oh yeah, that's all them. Yeah. It's Billy, Frank, and Rich Ward from Stuck Mojo too.
Okay.
Yeah, Rich Ward is a phenomenal guitar player. Billy Gray is phenomenal. They have the greatest 1-2 punch, and their guitar is sick.
Yeah, if you're not, by the way, if you're a rock metal fan, and shit, if you're even a wrestling fan, Chris Jericho actually has some fucking pipes on him. He's actually pretty talented.
Him and Sebastian Bach keep talking shit to each other right now.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It's just some Twitter war or whatever.
Dude, if that's Sebastian Bach, I would shut the fuck up, dude. That guy.
Sebastian Bach can sing like a motherfucker.
That fucker was doing opera at one point, dude.
Yep.
He's got some fucking pipes on him. But I'm like, seriously though, Chris Jericho is fucking yoked, and he's in his early 40s.
Yeah,
yoked, and I'm like, you don't want a piece of that guy, man.
Yeah.
He's got CTE.
Yeah, I don't think Fozzy needs a security guards because Rich Ward used to be fucking big as fuck too. Frank the Tank, man, the drummer.
Yeah,
like those boys will fuck you up.
Dude, what is the fucking story that all the drummers got to be like the fucking crazy dude of the group? I just remember like Fink was nuts from he did Reverend E and S.O.R.E.
No, he was never in S.O.R.E.
Okay. Yeah. Fink was nuts. Tony
was certifiably insane.
I remember there was a time we were hanging out with him, and someone started a fight with Tony. I think he broke a fucking glass mug over their head.
Yeah.
Was that Cudahy or was that South Milwaukee we were in? Fuck. I just remember like...
Which Tony fight? There's been a million of them. I have no idea.
Like, I remember at one point looking over to Tony, I was like, dude, I fight a lot? I was like, but you fight a lot.
He's a lunatic.
Who else was another drummer that was fucking certifiable?
Any drummer on the planet.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. They're all fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Neil Peart was the only one that was actually level.
Yeah. I always tell this joke. I always say, what do you call a drummer who just lost his girlfriend?
What?
Homeless. Every drummer gets so mad at me. Like, it's true.
Like, you're right. Oh, that's fucking crazy, dude. Oh, where are we at? Shit, we did an hour and a half. God damn.
Is it really been?
Yeah, it's 8:30.
All right, well.
Let's see. What else we got to plug really quick before we take off? We talked about DMX. Oh, Sabbatic this Friday.
Yes, Sabbatic this Friday.
Danny Diablo.
Danny Diablo's in town. He's doing a guest DJ gig in Sabbatic. I can't remember the address, but...
it's literally right down the street. It's on 2nd. 2nd and National.
Okay. Danny's in town. We're finishing the Scarhead record. Big Left's in town finishing his record, and then we're all going to party Friday night. The whole Force 5 Milwaukee chapter plus Big Left, Danny. Danny's doing a DJ gig. Antihero Productions is putting it on. Force 5 Records will be in the house. So come out if you're in Milwaukee, come out to Sabbatic on Friday night. We're going to party.
Yeah, I'm going to try and stop out early and just say hi to you guys. I have a previous engagement I have to handle all weekend, so I'm going to stop out at 8 o'clock, and I got to cut out at 9.
All right.
What else do I got?
Ruckus.
The Ruckus mixtape Volume 2 is out. Force 5 Records. Get on there. Dedicated to a good friend Saint Dog who passed away recently. That project should be done next couple of weeks or so.
What, Saint Dog record?
Yeah.
It's almost done. Yeah,
almost done.
We're putting a release date on it soon, so it'll be
Suburban Noise, soon. Force 5 Records. Check out force5records.com. Get yourself some swag. What else we got?
DannyDiabloMerch.com.
Hardcore Streetwear. What else? Combat Records. We already brought that up. Ruckus Mixtape. Sabbatic Friday. Oh, and Texas. If you're in the Texas area, number 1. I don't know how the fuck you're watching this podcast, but thanks. Number 2, 420 Party with Force 5 Records, DRP, King Relic, Milwaukee's own. Make sure you come on out for it. Donnie, DRP, thank you for coming out. We're definitely got to do this again, dude.
Yeah, we got whiskey and White Claws. I'm fucking ready.
Oh,
woo! I had to do it once.
All right, thank you, brother. Hey, that's us. Catch us next week. We will have DJ E-Rich on the podcast next week. And then I believe I have to find a new guest for the following week. But once again, everyone, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m.
Ruckus.
Peace out. Mahalo.